Hello 7-star citizens, hope you're all having a fantastic day. Evo Cardi for 324 has been continuing for the last couple of weeks. I did a little video about it 2 weeks ago talking about all the sort of general changes that had come in the patch, how I sort of felt about them and what I would have liked to see changed. Well, the last week or so, they finally introduced the cargo missions. Before we get into everything that I want to talk about today, a reminder that everything here is in Evo Cardi, so things are very, very subject to change. I can't show any footage, but I'll grab some like B-roll stuff from some of the ISCs and SCLs. But the important thing to remember is that like this is Evo Cardi. Everything is completely scuffed. If you've ever been in a Wave 1 PTU, this is like 10 times more buggy and harder to deal with. So I'm not going to talk about a lot of that until the end, because there is something that's maybe a little bit concerning for me in regards to the patch, but mostly I want to talk about the features. Yeah, 2 weeks ago, we talked a little bit about the freight elevators and how they work, the way that new cargo works, the brand new player inventory system as well with the kiosks, and just what it's going to mean for Star Citizen going forward. But I do think the cargo missions that we've been able to do for the last week, and be able to do is a interesting phrase of putting it, as it's been very hard to complete any missions. But these cargo missions, I think, have had more of an impact to the game than the freight elevators themselves. So I want to talk to you a little bit about them and talk to you about how they work, as well as some changes that have been made to things like commodities that's going to alter everything. So as it stands, right now in the current Evo Cardi patch, everyone essentially has all missions unlocked. So it's kind of like you don't need any reputation to be able to do any of these cargo missions. They're very simple. Similar to a delivery mission, it'll tell you this is where you pick up the items, this is where you deliver the items, and then this is how much payout you're going to get. Obviously, where it differs is that you're going to be using the freight elevators to move your cargo, or if you're using the Hull C, you're going to be doing the autofill outside. From what I could tell, there are quite a few different types of missions. So you have direct, which is pick up one spot, take to another location. You have the multiple deliveries, where you'll pick a bunch up from one location and then deliver it all to deliver them to multiple different places. But then there's also multiple pickups, where you have to go to a couple of different places, pick them up, and then deliver to one spot. Kind of makes sense. Once again, very similar to the delivery missions that we have right now, just on a grander scale, and, you know, obviously requiring a ship that can handle cargo. In addition to that, there are, I wouldn't call them difficulties, but there are different size versions of all of these missions as well. So you have planetary, which is usually going to be take it from an LEO, so take it from like Bajini to Arcorp, that type of thing. Solar, which is going to be, you know, take from Arkel 3 over to Cruel 1 or to Everest or something like that, right? You're going to be moving between systems. And then Interstellar, though important to note right now, Interstellar delivery missions just get you to drop them at the jump points. So any deliveries that take you to the Pyro Magnus, the Stanton Magnus jump point, Stanton Pyro jump point, those sort of ones. But they're the further distance. There are different sizes of cargo within all of these as well. So you've got small, medium, and large, though they tend to sort of scale more the further away you're doing. So if you're doing an interstellar pickup, from what I've seen, the mediums of an interstellar pickup have a lot more cargo than the mediums of a solar pickup, if that kind of makes sense. In that as well, it seemed like most of the smalls were around 10 SCU-ish. The mediums were like 100 to 150, around that sort of angle. And then large were like 600 and more. I saw one mission that required 2200 SCU worth of cargo. Obviously, that's going to be a mission that right now you can only do with the Hull C, or multiple drop-offs with like a Hercules, but likely not worth the payout for that. So I do like that. I like that we have localized missions. So if you want, you can just do cargo within the Hurston system, maybe Hurston and like a little couple of surrounds in each size bracket, you know? So you get a lot of variety in your choices right off the bat with how you want to do these missions. So I am a big fan of that. Payouts for the missions, the smallest I saw was 3,000 UEC for a 6 SCU drop-off. Biggest payout I saw was 53,000, and that was for a 700 SCU interstellar drop-off. So that was from, I believe it was from Stanton Pyro to Everest Harbor. I believe that was the route there, and it was 618 something like that SCU worth of cargo. So quite a lot of cargo, but when you take into account that all of those, bar like 1 or 2 boxes, are 32 SCU boxes, very, very quick to load. And that's one thing I want to touch on as well, loading cargo. So obviously now that you're using the freight elevators, you're physically moving the cargo onto your ship. The missions will automatically sort of give the boxes the like largest amount from what I've seen. So in that 600 example that I used, it was a bunch of 32 SCU boxes and then like a single, I think it was like a 4 SCU box to sort of make up that that end section. And in my experience from what I've done so far, and to be fair, I haven't been able to finish a mission the last couple of days, that tends to be the case, is they'll essentially just go, what is the highest denomination of cargo we can use for this mission? Getting into the missions, as we did have a chance to get the like initial mission before they unlocked all the missions for everyone yesterday. Pretty similar to bounty missions. You basically do a certificate. Right, cool. We didn't really get to see a lot with how the reputation's working yet, as like I said, they just unlocked all the missions for everyone. So we'll have to give that a little bit of time before we can check that out. Another big thing that I noticed was new commodities within these missions. So I couldn't find any place to buy or sell these. Once again, though, it's been super buggy, so it's been hard to sort of verify this stuff. However, these are the new items that I did see. So silicon, pressurized ice, hydrogen fuel and quantum fuel, and this is as like SCU boxes, ship ammunition, tin, and carbon. I'm 90% sure all of those are new commodities. I had a quick look on SC Trade Tools, and it does look like all these ones are new, but these were only in the delivery missions. Like I said, I couldn't find any location to buy or sell these, but they very much may exist. So I like that we did see from some like data mining, we saw pressurized ice, silicon. We saw pressurized ice and silicon. I don't know if we saw any others pretty recently, as it's sort of alluded to that maybe those are going to be new commodities in pyro. Ice mining may be a thing pretty soon, very possibly. So that's more stuff in there as well, which is great. I love seeing more commodities, just more variation, you know. The auto loading of commodities as well, if you are someone out there that's looking to do trading, has changed. As of today, they did a big update to the commodity auto loading, which was one thing that I was very concerned with 2 weeks ago. Previously, it was just straight up every SCU worth of auto loading that you wanted to do was 30 seconds. It would take 30 seconds for it to get into your ship. Now that has changed into a system that I do quite like, but I would like to see one thing change. So now it is a scale. So a 1 SCU box takes 2 seconds. A 2 SCU box takes 3 seconds, right? So there's that like sort of little leeway. A 4 SCU box is 4 seconds. And then it goes 6 seconds, 10 seconds, 12 seconds. And then at 32 SCU, it is 15 seconds. So you are incentivized to try to get larger boxes onto your ship, which is great. That's exactly what I want. There's only one more thing I really want changed about the system, which is if you are doing auto loading, I want it to cost UEC. I want there to be a more direct impact. If you do auto loading, there needs to be more of a cost than just time, because otherwise you could spend the time just loading it. You know what I mean? There needs to be something else comparable. Obviously, these times are not set in stone, but I do like the thought behind these times. I would like to see it cost some amount of money so that it kind of takes away from your margins a little bit, which once again would try to incentivize you to load more. But if you're really busy, you can just press the button, right? A lot of that probably seems like rambling, and when I edit this video, it's probably going to look that way. But I've just come off the Evocardi, and I wanted to talk about all of these sort of things. State of 324 has been interesting. So we've been in Evocardi for a little over 2 weeks now. It has been super rough. The bugs related to the hangars have started to show themselves more and more as the weeks have gone by. And reminder, we are in Evocardi. I'm expecting there to be tons of bugs. But it definitely feels like this patch is not going to make it in this month unless some crazy bug fixing happens in the next couple of weeks. I think we're going to see this patch probably arrive at the end of August at this stage to live. And that kind of sucks. It really feels like when we saw, I don't remember the name of the dev, but when we saw the dev say that, you know, cargo was really, really close, it just feels like maybe that wasn't the case. However, a lot of the issues that we are experiencing maybe didn't present themselves until they got into QA. So, you know, it could be totally fair. What I will say is the design of the cargo missions is good because it's just nice and easy. It's just, hey, what if delivery missions used freight elevators and people got to use their massive cargo ships? Awesome, right? That's kind of all I wanted. And for a lot of people out there, and if you are one of those people out there that plans on doing cargo hauling, is this what you wanted? Keeping in mind that you can still do commodity trading in addition to this, right? Nothing is going to prevent you from doing that. So that's sort of where we're at right now. The other thing I would like to see, though, with additional missions is more risky missions. And by this, I mean like NPC cargo risky missions. So maybe you have to go retrieve some cargo from a downed, like a derelict hull C, right? And you have to retrieve that and take it somewhere, but there's hostile NPCs around. I would like to see more of that stuff. Right now, all of these missions are essentially PvE risk-free. Obviously, there's always a risk of PvP, but there's no random ships trying to take your cargo or harass you or anything like that. So you could solo hull C these kinds of missions, right? Even though I hate solo hull Cs. That is 100% a thing you could do. That's pretty much it from me. I'm hoping Evocati is going to get a little bit better this week. I did at least get to see some more missions the last 2 days, and so that is a plus into how it's going, but it is very, 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 very buggy. I think it's going to be a while before we see a wave 1, probably another couple of weeks, and then depending on that goes, it's probably going to be a while. I don't think we're going to see a repeat of 3.18, but I don't think it's going to be much better when this goes to live. All of the hangar updates are just, they're too impactful, I guess. So it feels like it's hard to get them right. But thank you very much for watching. If you liked this video, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe to see more Star Citizen content. And yeah, hopefully we'll have another video for you soon. Apparently, we're getting info on jump points next Friday for ISC. So should be good. Have a good one, guys.